I don't know what y'all think, but for me, there's definitely a classist undertone to having hobbies. I mean, we all know it requires all this leisure time, it requires resources, it means taking time to research and teach yourself a new skill, and it also costs to mess up while you're learning. You may have to scrap prototypes and restart from scratch until you get it right. Then, thereafter, it requires having the continued motivation to be passionate about what you're engaging in. That said, it irks me that leisure activities are still being held hostage behind a paywall for a lot of deserving artsy people. I can already hear somebody saying it's not that deep, and I just like to say, think about it like this. For those of us deriving from lower class families, we view non-work related hobbies as optional endeavors that require a large investment. Even when lower class individuals manage to invest in leisure activities, they are encouraged to turn their newfound passions into currency as fast as they can. When I first started investing in fiber arts like tufting and crochet, I felt pushed to sell my pieces almost immediately. I knew I wanted to keep every single one for myself, but I thought that if I didn't post about my craft and garner some type of social currency from it, I was mindlessly wasting money. I'd never been taught to invest in my happiness through hobbies. In my family, leisure activities means a quick beach visit or window shopping at the mall and only buying pretzels from Auntie Annie's in the end. For those in the middle, dwindling class, it's understood that hobbies are a necessary tool to prevent going insane and also to seem adjacent to the wealthy class. It's highly recommended to engage in leisure activities even if it stretches their wallet thin. They will often brag about having the best gadgets on the market for said hobbies. They are the best at collecting new hobbies fast and discarding them even faster. Meanwhile, the upper class has a more carefree view of what it is to participate in leisure activities because they can. They understand that said hobbies are actually full-blown passions, and they have the ability to live out said passions without convincing themselves a 9 to 5 is their main purpose. Therefore, hobbies are habitual learned habits for them. Hobbies that will never have to be turned into a mode of production as long as they keep the wealth that they have obtained, or their parents obtained, or their grandparents, or their great-great-grandparents. You know what I mean? So now I have to say this to everyone who sees leisure as a large-scale investment. You are not wrong. A lot of this shit is gate-kept. Not only that, social media applies terms and conditions to who can and can't participate. Y'all remember the Pilates conversation? Yeah. Despite that, let's remind ourselves that most hobbies have basic, low-cost starter packs and started in low-income families historically. Let's remind ourselves that it's still extremely easy to find free resources for teaching yourself new skills on the internet. And lastly, and most importantly, remember that hobbies aren't something that you perfect overnight because they are real passions that you are deserving of. If you have ever felt like you could spend all day doing that one thing, it's probably something you're meant to do for days on end, but the capitalist mode of production stops you from being free to do that. Therefore, participation in leisure is resistance, and I highly recommend you resist. All right, thank you guys for listening. Obviously, this is a topic that's very near and dear to my heart, and I felt like I was pulled to talk about it because, I am Hobby Bobby. I be investing in these hobbies. And as I think about the spaces that I'm in and the videos that I see online, hobbies can be seen as something that's super expensive. It gets you social capital. A lot of people make it seem like it has to be aesthetically pleasing or perfect when you start. And I don't like that. I feel like hobbies are for everybody and we can all perform them in different ways. And yeah, I like when we have diversity in the hobbyish community, similar to the bookish community. And I had to speak on it. So thank you guys for listening. Till next time. Bye.